All right, it says that I am live. Hey everyone, Q here from Tech Rants. Let me go ahead and pull up the chat. I know it's late, but I appreciate anybody that's stopping in. I'm not gonna be up here too long. At least that's not the plan. So we'll just see. I just got a topic, and I thought I would, make this video. So yeah, we'll see. Just give me 1 second. Let me pull up the chat. Make this video anyway. So yeah, this is yeah, this probably won't be much of a long live stream anyway. But before we get into the topic, let me get a little closer to the mic. All right, so okay. All right, so before we get into the topic, I do want to let everybody know that there's maybe an unboxing coming to this channel. I hope that it actually goes better than the last one that I did. I tried to unbox the iPhone SE when I got it, and of course, it did not help that the damn thing was dead. So, with that being said, if I do decide to go through with what I'm thinking about getting, if it's not a full unbox, it'll be like a ghetto unbox. So whatever. But I'm thinking about it because it's a good price, and I need something that's I need another infotainment system for my speakers. Because the laptop does fine. It really does. It just I don't think it should always sit here. The laptop is not in front of me today, so yeah. I got a lot on my mind, guys. I'm not quite feeling so good. I don't know what's well, actually, I know what's wrong with me, but I'm not quite feeling like me tonight. I just got a lot going on, a lot going through my head. Yeah, I just come up here to make these videos and talk to you guys and get the news out a little bit or whatever. So yeah, I'm trying to be a little more focused tonight. I know it gets sidetracked in all my videos and just ends up going wiki-wacky, but we're gonna see where we can make it through tonight without too many distractions. But also, like I said, I'm not gonna be up here too much longer. Just wanna kind of throw a topic out there, and just see what everybody thinks. So if anybody comes in, I definitely want to know your opinion on the subject. Also, the replay crew, definitely leave your opinions on the subject. So yeah. So the question I want to know, and I'll tell you what I think, and of course I want to know everybody's opinion. So I'm just been thinking here, what should the standard be for budget devices? So I'm going to talk about that a little bit and kind of do a recap of what it was for a while. When I was growing up, and when cell phones were becoming popular, social media and all that was popular back then. But we had we had like AOL Messenger, and we had like Yahoo Messenger. Facebook was popular. Shit like that. So just checking here. Michael Morte and Kevin are joined in as usual. Randy C is also joined in. Thank y'all, appreciate it. But yeah, So, yeah, I kind of remember when the flip phone was cool, and then it was the BlackBerry. The Blackberries also had an emerging source, and then it was these touchscreen slide phones. And I actually was a big fan of the sliding phones. I kind of liked the unique design of it, and I liked the fact that you had a physical keyboard. It made it very easy when it came to texting. And being a visually impaired person, if we wanted to use Android, if you were totally blind and you wanted to use Android, you had to have a phone with a physical keyboard because it was the only way it was going to be operable. We didn't have all these touchscreen gestures and all that shit that we got now. So back then, it was no choice. So yeah. So yeah, just as a little history, I kind of like what I know and what I remember. The chirp phones and all that shit was cool, and you had a lot of things that were cool back then. Of course, are obsolete. Now, I was really hoping that they would make the Droid 5. Um, you know, just kind of maybe give us one more keyboard phone, but apparently it faded out because people were not a big fan of it. So, not quite sure exactly what happened with that, but either way go. You take it back to 2010, 2011. If a phone had 512 megabytes of RAM to 1 gig of RAM, it was considered a flagship or mid-tier device. Anything under that was considered budget. Now, I remember when I really, I worked at Cricket for a while. I worked at my local phone company. When they had cell phone service, I did their cell phone services. I've had experience with a lot of carriers, but I mainly dealt with Cricket and my other company. I don't give out complete accurate information of where I'm at. I'm in the Midwest. That's all everybody needs to know. Some of you probably already know, but for those that don't, I'm in the Midwest. I'll give you that. So, excuse me. So yeah. But when I really started paying attention, I had one of my I actually had a Droid too. I had a BlackBerry Flip, which I absolutely freaking love. But I love the hell out of that Droid too. There was no question about that. But then I had a iPhone 4S. I had an iPhone 4S for quite a long time. I also had the Droid 4. That was a damn good phone. I had hands-on with the Nexus, the Galaxy Nexus. At the time, that was also a pretty sweet phone. But the iPhone 4S was probably the phone that I kept the longest. And I was with Verizon at the time. And I had some personal issues. I was actually on a family plan, and needless to say, I'm not gonna get into my personal life. But basically, families go through things, and basically, I ended up not being on the family plan no more. So, I was without a phone for a good while, or not a good while, but about a week. And then I had a Cricket phone that I had lying around here that I decided just to pick up, turn on, and it was a little basic. It was actually, I'll tell you, it was a Samsung R100. So I used that for a while. And when I said, okay, maybe I'm just gonna stay with Cricket, because Cricket, I was a lot of people weren't, but I was a big ass fan of Cricket back in the old days. Well, not old days, that kind of makes me sound old as fuck, but I was a big fan of Cricket when they had the mood music, and they actually had an unlimited plan for like $50-$55, and you got I was a big ass fan of the old Cricket. No doubt, people can talk all the mess. Yeah, the coverage was probably, it was hit or miss. But, for what you got for your money, you really couldn't beat it. And they always had deals going on, especially there. I frequently called there. They had a a sales line out in Missouri. I frequently called there, man. Them people were so nice, and they always gave you deals and shit. I always just act like I was buying a phone, but you know, I had a hookup. I worked at an authorized dealer. I didn't work at a corporate store. I worked at an authorized dealer, so I had a hookup. But yeah, I kind of like, you know, I really like the old Cricket. But either way, go. Wait, I'm trying to figure out how the hell I got on that subject. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was saying, well, I said, okay, I'm gonna stay with Cricket, and of course, that's when I was not aware that they got sold by AT&T, because at the time I was kind of juggling another job and working for the local phone company at the time, and they were about to phase out their cell phone service too. So, and this was back in 2014. So 2014 was a hell of a year. A lot of sales and stuff got going on. So when I found out they were going GSM, I was kind of sad. So I'm like, okay, this is, you know, this is different. So what caught my eye at the time was Walmart Family Mobile. Okay, and of course, you know, at the time, the Galaxy S4 was about to come out. And actually, the S4 was already out. As a matter of fact, the S5 came out that year. But at the time, you know, you had the iPhone 5S and the S3 and S4. You know, you had all these popular devices. Excuse me, that were out. And so I said, okay, forget about it. I'm gonna go to Walmart Family Mobile. So I went to Family Mobile, and the phone that they had that I wanted, it was $100. Had some, you know, at the time it was a budget device, probably not the best specs, but it was pretty good. It had a 3.8-inch screen, had a 5-megapixel camera, it had a dual core processor, it had a gig of RAM, and it was $99. It was a Samsung. It was a Galaxy Exhibit. Pretty damn good phone. Well, I sold my iPhone 4S to Walmart, and they didn't give me much for it. So I just needed a phone. I needed a phone at the time that was really gonna help me get through work, because that R100 wasn't doing shit for me. So I had to figure out, okay, what can I get? So I got the Prism 2, which was the cheapest phone I could afford at the time. So I got the Prism 2. And at the time, it had a single core processor. It had 512 megabytes of RAM. It had 4 gigs of ROM. Like, it was the worst phone I've ever had. Like, seriously. Like, that, you know, those were 2011 specs. And, you know, they still continue to manufacture phones with 4 gigs of RAM. I never understood what, 4 gigs of ROM. Why was that possible? You know, it would have been fine if you could actually move apps to the SD card. You know, that's fine. Yeah, you know, you can hold up to a 32 gigabyte SD card, but I can't move fucking apps to the, you know, to the SD card. I can only do movies and music. To me, that's just ridiculous. So, and they came out with the LG Optimus L9, I believe that's what it was, and they had a dual core processor. It had 8 gigs of RAM and 8 gigs of ROM, not RAM, damn, 8 gigs of RAM. I wouldn't even thought of that. It was 3 gigs was the standard. But that, you know, that phone right there, it was pretty good. So, you know, it kind of just brings me to the point, like, what should be the standard for flagship? So we went from 512 megabits of RAM for budget flagships. Then we went to 1 gigabyte. Now the 1 gigabyte is really getting phased out. Now we're on to 2 gigabytes. So like I seen that LG or Cricket or whoever pretty much announced the LG Fortune 2, and it really is a significant upgrade from the previous Fortune. Previous Fortune, I can't say it was garbage, but you know, I can see why that phone was free. Yeah, you wouldn't catch me running there paying $60 for it. No fucking way. But yeah, can't think straight. Okay, yeah, but so the LG Fortune 2 apparently has 2 gigs of RAM. I think, matter of fact, let's just go ahead and talk about it. You know, I'm not even gonna go over that of what it's actually gonna have, but it's definitely an upgrade. I think the average budget phone nowadays, you know, 2 gigs should be the standard. It would be nice to say 32, but 16 would definitely be enough. You know, especially if you can move apps to the SD card and you have an SD card slot. You know, it has to be. If not, if you know you can't move apps to the SD card, then 32 should be the minimum for a budget. You know, for a budget device. And this device is about $50 to 150. Though you know, those should have at least 2 to 3 gigs. You know, 2 gigs should be the minimum. 16 if you can move apps to the SD card. 32 if you can. So, you know, of course, like I'm seeing, you know, you take like the Tribute Dynasty. It has an octa-core processor, but it's so the processor, I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure what's the popular processor now between Snapdragon. I think Snapdragon maybe a 4. Well, I don't know. I gotta look at the Fortune specs to see what's popular now. But you know, at least 2 gigs of RAM and 16 gigs of ROM. That should be the standard. That should be the norm. At least the 8 megapixel. You know, well, see, the pixels and shit doesn't really matter on a camera. It's all about the quality. But you know, given these low quality cameras and stuff like that, at least give something mid-range, you know, because the standard for budget and the standard for flagships are changing. You know, you got the OnePlus. I think it's the OnePlus. I may be wrong. 8 gigs of RAM. You know, like wow. What? My laptop has 8 gigs of RAM, and it doesn't cost as much as the S9 or the one. Well, actually, the OnePlus is pretty much the same price. So you know. It seems like, one second. It seems like every year or two, the standards for budget devices are really changing. So, you know, it can really make it hard to keep up with, you know, with the different trends. And, you know, it's not easy. But as more and more devices become capable, you know, our phones are damn near like computers. I remember we had an old ass computer. It had 512 megabytes of RAM and a 20 gig hard drive. You know, this computer I got right here. I don't know if you can see that. It has a dual core processor. It had 2 gigs of RAM. I put 4 gigs in it because it could accept it. It has a 70 gig hard drive, 2 USB ports. It does have the headphone jack and the microphone port, and it has just the DVD, the CD, whatever this, the CD drive or the DVD drive is not even burnable. You know, it's just basic as hell. So. But it is a DVD player. You know, but of course this was a gift after my house burnt down a few years back. And, you know, so of course I wasn't complaining. I made it a powerful machine. It was a powerful machine, and it is running Windows 10 right now. It has the potential to be powerful if I fire it up and fix it. But I just haven't got to it. I might actually do that and do a video on it and see how fast it would actually run. So yeah, but you know, our phones are going to be damn near like it's going to be like computers. You know, 4 gigs is the, you know, we still see some computers with 1 gig to 2 gigs of RAM, but those are like netbooks. But for standard for a laptop is 4 gigs. And you can get some of those definitely for under $300, and that's going to be pretty much phones. Pretty soon you're going to see a phone for $150 with 4 gigs of RAM. And that's going to be the standard, and that'll be probably the next 2 to 3 years, when the normal stands for mid-tier is probably 8 gigs, and the normal stands for flagship is about 16. So these computers are definitely going to get faster and faster and faster. I mean, these phones, you know, they're going to become pretty much computers. And if you know, you need a computer for a few things, but until they, you know, completely obsolete CDs and completely obsolete, you know, uh, a lot of things will have to happen for phones to basically replace the standard computer. But honestly, right at the moment, right now, that's not really gonna happen. But a lot, you know, anything is possible. But these phones are going to be pretty much the laptops of the world, and probably pretty soon it won't be no need for desktops. So you know, you know, we got a lot to look out for, but you know, the standard for budget computing and budget mobile phones and budget tablets is pretty much changing. You know, I did read the review on the Amazon Fire 7, which looks like a pretty nice device, you know, for the price. And yeah, they are right. 1 gig is definitely not enough RAM nowadays, to, you know, especially for an Android device. So it's very rare. It's very, very um, possible that um, for the next flight Amazon release of tablets, we could be seeing um, 2 gigs of RAM and a way better processor. So, you know, the standards, like I said, the standards are changing all the time, and it's up to these companies how they want to follow suit with it. You know, and people, you know, and the average consumer is not going to care. They're going to care about storage and cameras. They're not really going to give a shit about processors and all that other stuff and RAM. They'll look at storage, but they're not going to care about RAM. Mostly not. But, you know, the standard is changing, and that's good. Things are getting better and better and better. I watch budget phones short. You gotta, you know, and actually people be surprised to believe, but one of the best budget phones that I've ever had, you know, outside of the Galaxy J7 Perks, and of course the Blades, like the best budget phone I've had within the past few years was probably the Alcatel Pop Astro. That phone was $65, and that phone was boom, boom, boom. The battery life was meh. Um, the battery, you know, the battery life, it was okay. I didn't like the way it charged, but it was, you know, the way it handled tags, and you know, it did get hot, and you know, it did a lot of stuff that annoyed the crap out of me. But it was a good budget phone for $65. You couldn't beat it, and it handled pretty much anything I threw at it. It was a powerhouse. I tell you, it really was a powerhouse. And honestly, you know, the 1 gig of RAM and all, and the processor it had at the time, did it wonders. But you know, it was a pretty good phone. So some phones are pretty much optimized to do good. Um, so, but some, you know, some are not. So you know, you just gotta really think about it. You know, people will buy the phones with the least amount of specs and features, but you know, you gotta give customers a reason to buy this phone. You know, and it's, you know, it's just, you know, like I said, when you got phones like the Moto E4 and the Blaze E Max, and now even take like the Honor 7X and the new Mobile G3, like a lot of these phones out here that are coming out under $200, they're killing the game right now. You know, in my opinion, they can stand any flagship in the face and do what these flagships do. So I don't know, guys, and I don't know. I'm just sitting here going on and on and on, but yeah, you know, you got to really think about what could be the standard for budget. You know, you got to make phone. You know, technology is advancing and getting better and better, and it's, you know, pretty soon 4 gigs won't be enough because somebody will demand an app, or you know, the level of Android or something like that will change, and you know, they're gonna have to do something to keep up with, you know, time. So, sorry guys, had to eat something. Pretzel nuggets. They got peanut butter in them. Very good. Got them on Amazon. Check them out. But just something for everybody to think about. You know, and I got some people, that say 3 gigs should be the normal, 4 gigs should be the normal, 64 gigs should be the minimum. Like, no. You want a budget, don't get too greedy. So, it's just, it's something to think about. Like I said, I want to know what everybody else thinks about what should be the minimum specs for budget, and what should be the minimum features and things like that. So leave your opinions and stuff down below in the replay crew and all that other good stuff. I'm getting ready to hop off of here, but that's just what I think. My opinion is not right. It's definitely not. It's not wrong. Everybody's gonna have their own opinion, and you're entitled to do that. So that's just what I think. So yeah, appreciate anybody for watching and joining in. Wait a minute. Okay, so Curtis Bradley, I'm just getting to your comment there, Curtis. Curtis says 3 gigs should be the standard on an Android phone. So Curtis, I don't know if you're still in here. I can see where you're going for that, because you got companies like Honor and New and a lot of these other ones have kind of made it that way. I could see where you would say that, but I'm talking about for maybe for a phone $150 to $200, but what do you think about phones that are about $50, 150 and down? What do you think about those phones? I'm kind of interested. Because you got to remember, Curtis, and this for anybody, sorry, I'm not just directing this towards you, but you guys got to remember that iPhone, like you take like the iPhone 8, it's a very, it's a decent performing device, and it still has 2 gigs. So, of course, like I said, everybody has their opinion or whatever on different, on the subject. Curtis, I got to your comment a little late. Okay, you left it at 118. It's 124. Damn, where did the time go? So yeah, but you got like the iPhone that's still relying on 8 gigs of RAM. 2 gigs of RAM. But then you got the iPhone 10. It's $1,000, and it only has 3 gigs of RAM. So, but of course, you said Android, but I think 50 for 150 and down, 2 gigs should be the minimum. Maybe 150 and up. I can see that. 3 gigs, yeah, I can see that. Most definitely. So, check here. So yeah, I've been on for almost a half hour. It is getting late. I got some stuff I got to finish up with the business. But yeah, I just thought I would come up here and talk about what, like I said, everybody's going to have their own opinion, and that's fine. But, just think about it. For phones 50 to 150, what you think? 150 to 350, what do you think? And, of course, flagships have got their own standards. So if you like the comments, if you like the content, leave a like, comment, subscribe, share, and all that other good shit. Tell your friends about me. If I have informed you in any way, if you think this is informative, definitely support me, man. Appreciate all the people that join in. Appreciate all the people that support me, that comment, watch my videos and stuff like that. I know I'm not the most professional YouTuber out here, but I just want to get the information out. I give people stuff to think about. I want You know, because we're living in a constant world where technology is changing. So, you know, just try to spread the goodness and around and in the news and all that. So, appreciate everybody for watching. I'm about to go ahead and head on off of here. Thank you for stopping in. Replay crew, and definitely appreciate it. Like I said, if anybody got any comments or whatever, leave them down below and I will try to respond to them ASAP. Appreciate you guys for stopping in. Catch you guys on the next one. Have a wonderful, blessed night. Lord's will. We'll talk again. Thank you. One love. Peace.